Now our pad thai sauce is a little bit more complex. There's a lot of flavors going on here, but it's really quite easy to make. It's surprisingly simple actually. Everything is going to just get blended in the blender. So we have a cup of cashews that have been soaking for a few hours to make them nice and soft. That's the base of our pad thai recipe. We're going to add 1 tomato, a 1/4 cup of tamarind paste, 1 lime. The lime really makes it. You can use lemon juice if you don't have a lime, but the lime gives it more of a distinctive flavor. It actually has quite different properties than a lemon. In Ayurvedic medicine, the lime is warming and the lemon is cooling. So they're really, even though they seem the same, they're really quite different, and it really gives it a special flavor. For the sweetener, we're going to use medjool dates. We have 3 medjool dates. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of almond butter. Extra, it's going to be really nice and creamy. 2 tablespoons of namashoyu. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. We're going to use a teaspoon of salt. A 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. A 1/2 teaspoon of sambal. And you can adjust this according to taste if you want it hotter or less hot. A 1/2 teaspoon seems to be like quite a perfect amount for most people, though. It's just slightly hot. And a 1/4 teaspoon of coriander. That's everything. Okay, so we're just going to start putting everything into the blender and we're going to blend it, and that's our sauce. Quite easy. So my measuring spoons. Olive oil, 2 tablespoons. Namashoyu, 2 tablespoons. I'm going to rinse it to get my almond butter, so my almond butter doesn't taste like namashoyu next time. We're getting low in there. 2 tablespoons of almond butter. That one was easy. This one's a little more challenging. Got it. Almost. Sorry. Okay, 2 tablespoons of almond butter. Rinse off the fingers. Almond butter is delicious but messy. 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Now, a teaspoon of salt. 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. 1/2 teaspoon of sambal. You can use a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne or have the chili pepper if you prefer. The sambal is quite delicious though. And a 1/4 teaspoon of coriander. Coriander is the seed from the cilantro plant. The cilantro is the leaves and coriander is the seed that comes from the same plant. A little bit different of a flavor, but they're good. And it's good in recipes together. They complement each other quite well. Medjool dates, make sure to take out the pit. Those go in. I'm going to drain our cashews. rinse and drain. But I was just thinking I'm going to add my tomato first because the tomato will get caught in the blades and it'll process better this way. You want as much liquid or soft things near the bottom of the blender so it processes hopefully once quickly and we don't have to take a knife in there and scoop it down. So just cut it a little bit. Garlic cloves. Don't need to chop this up because it's going into the blender and it's going to be very finely pureed. And our tamarind paste, which we made earlier, 1/4 cup. Now, our lime, and there's no seeds in the lime, so we're safe to just juice it right into the blender. For some reason, I never see seeds in limes, and I often do in lemons, and I'm not sure why that is, but I have yet to see a lime with a seed in it. I've never seen it in my whole life. I think I have to look into that one. Okay. I love limes. This summer, try limeade instead of lemonade. It's really, really good and cooling. Okay, cashews. That's it. That's the hands. And that's all there is to it. We're going to blend and make the most delicious pad thai sauce ever. Blended really well. We're going to have a really nice, smooth, creamy sauce. So I'm going to get our final touch ready right now, and that is the topping that we're going to sprinkle on top. Okay, so for our topping, we're going to put the cashews. We're going to chop up cashews. If I was making a lot, I would use the processor, but I don't want to get it dirty for such a small amount. So what I'm going to do is just take my knife and chop through them. Just watch your fingers. This is going to resemble the peanut topping that sometimes you get, those ground peanuts on top, but we're just going to use cashews instead. And you could use almonds instead if you wanted to. Cashews just work quite well. I'm going to get a small bowl. Put these in. My little cashew pieces. Drizzle just a little bit of sesame oil on. Like, not even half, maybe half a teaspoon. And same thing, a little bit, 1/4 to half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, half. And small spoon just to stir those up. It's just going to give them a little bit of flavor on top. Now, take the green onion. If it's a really small green onion, you can just leave it whole, but since this is quite a big one, I'm just cutting it in half. I'm slice through it into small pieces. I'm going to garnish at the end my pad thai with a little bit of the sesame oil and salt cashews and a little bit of green onions on top. Okay, set those aside. Now I'm going to bring over the vegetable mixture we worked on right here. And we're going to mix in our pad thai sauce, which has thickened a bit because it's cashew based, but that's okay because we have our handy spatula to help it along. I'm going to put it in. And the sauce we made is enough for, do this vegetable mixture maybe twice. I think that's enough. We're going to want about a cup of pad thai sauce on top of it. And we'll get our tongs. I always go for the shorter tongs. I think I just have more, feels more like my hand's in there. I'm a very hands-on person. And then just keep folding it over and mixing it in until the sauce is all mixed in well with the vegetables. It's smelling great in this kitchen. Okay. Isn't it a pretty pink color? It's nice. It's like real pad thai. I mean, it looks a little different, but it really tastes a lot like pad thai. I've had so many people eat this and go, "Whoa, it tastes like pad thai," because it does. It really, it's very, very similar, but it's the tamarind and the lime and all of the things that are in the authentic pad thai dish. So a little bit more work, but truly, truly, truly worth it. Now, to serve it, big bowl. Serve it, big bowl size. Nice portion of noodles, and I was thinking that, but I could have cut these up a little bit earlier. The zucchini noodles. Sometimes they're very, very long. There's a beautiful portion as I put some red peppers on top. Okay. And presentation, always important. Sprinkle a little bit of cashews on top. And a few green onions. And that's it. I think the most delicious pad thai ever. Enjoy.